few people on my channel was asking to do this mukbang or clean and eat in English. So I'll try. Uh, as you can see, I just came back from fishing. I caught some fish 2 hours ago. So let's try it sashimi before they get too old. So I look at the weather today and it was 6 mile north, which is really nice kind of wind to go out on a golf. So I took my Sea-Doo and went out to one of the nearshore oil rig. And I wanted to catch some Spanish, like, the red snapper is out of season. So pretty much I wanted to catch some Spanish and maybe some hardtail, big ones. So that's exactly what I did. So I did catch some big ones, like extendo. This is about 22 inches, but I don't have anybody to eat with. I'll be eating alone, so I don't want to cut up big fish, then end up eating just halfway and throw it out. So I'm gonna go small. So this is the keychain, about 12 inches. I'm gonna cut up this small Spanish because I probably could finish that size. Let me put it back in the ice. Before I go further, for Spanish, if it's been sitting in the cooler more than 12 hours, I won't eat it raw. Because for Spanish, the flesh becomes really soft after 4 or 5 hours in the cooler. So I try to eat it before it gets to that softer flesh. So the best timing will be between 2 and 3 hours. No longer than 2-3 hours. Right now we're sitting at 2 hours, so I'll be good. I'm putting in the ice right now because I'll be eating some hardtail with it. I'm just gonna have a two hardtails should be good. This is huge, by the way. This is not a small hardtail. This is 11 inches to the fork. Yeah, more than 12 inches to the end. We don't have a limit on this, but I don't want to catch so many, then, throw it out. So I just catch what I can eat. I just brought 4 today. There should be plenty. The reason I'm cleaning the hardtail first, because unlike Spanish, for the hardtail, if you give it some time, few hours, the taste become more better. Especially after you cut it, if you leave it in the room temperature, say for 30 minutes, the oil from the hardtail will come out and you will make it even tastier. So before I go further, let me start cutting it. A lot of my friends recommended to use what they call deva knife. I tried to get used to it, but I'm just not getting there yet. So anyway, so what you want to do is put it in the head. I'm not gonna gut it because I'm not even gonna touch the gut part. The easiest way will be open it up like that, and without taking the end, By the way, don't use too sharp knife for this because it will cut through the skin. Just like that, you have one flesh. The trick is, if you put it in the fresh water, the fish smell, the fish taste is gonna be really strong. So try not to put any water, unless it's a salt water. If you wanna clean it, use salt water. If you see a little bit of silver, like the skin, that means you did really good. So this is gonna go in the waste. So let me do the other fish. I'll be using a lot of paper towel. It's okay to clean with fresh water. Just make sure you get all the water off with paper towel. So I'm gently tapping on the flesh, trying to get some blood off of it. There you go. So this is the half. There's some fish bones in the middle. So that's where done with that one. Now I'm using sashimi knife. Okay, so I'm not gonna cut it right in the middle. I'm gonna cut it a little bit off the middle center like this. And same thing with that. What about the meat inside? Well, that's most of purple meat anyway, with the bones in it. So this is the bloody part, which is this is the blood vessel. So I cut that off. Now you will notice this used to be one piece, but also has some red in it. Okay, this is the part where, you know, everybody's a little different. I like a little bit of red in there. It will give it that character that only hardtail has. So I will cut off a little bit, like this, and throw out some dark, but I'm gonna leave a little bit. I'm not gonna cut all of them. So same with the other part. I'm cutting off that much, but I'm leaving lots of them still in there. This is the two hardtail. I'm not gonna put it in the refrigerator. I'm just gonna leave it outside in a room temperature. I'm gonna let it sit there. You know, preferably, I wish I would have kept it in the cooler for 10 hours or so, but I don't have time because I'm gonna eat it with the Spanish. Before we start Spanish, let me clean up all the knife and the cutting board. So you don't want other fish's smell to be in there. So even on the knife, make sure there's no water, because water, fresh water, is what's gonna make the fish smell like a fish. So I'm gonna cut the smallest Spanish I have. Again with the Spanish, I'm trying not to touch the belly because belly is where it's gonna smell. So this is the Spanish. I'm gonna put this fillet in the refrigerator because putting in the room temperature will soften up the tissue. Again, make sure there's no water on the cutting board and the knife. So when I'm cutting, I try not to cut it too thin or too small because hardtail is not a fish with a really firm flesh. It's a little softer side. So if you cut it too thin or pieces into too small, as you chew, you're not gonna feel much. I wanna feel some chewing. So here it is. So what I'm making is a sashimi, not sushi. If you want to make a sushi, this is a pretty big piece. I'll probably make a rice and put this on top of it. Whole thing on top of it. But I'm eating sashimi, so I'm cutting in, making it a little smaller. That's the hardtail. I'm gonna put Spanish next to it, but I'm gonna give it about 10 more minutes for hardtail to become a little bit more tastier. So I'm gonna wait 10 more minutes in a room temperature, leave it there. Then I'm gonna prepare Spanish that's sitting in the freezer. So even the Spanish, there's a little bone in there. So I'm gonna get the bones off by cutting the middle part. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have used a bigger Spanish because after cutting into small pieces, there just isn't much to chew on. So if I see a little bit of blood somewhere, I just use paper towel and wipe the blood off and just gently tap it. Don't ever put it in the water. It will ruin it. The fish will taste like fish. You don't want that. Spanish also, I'm gonna cut it a little bigger. Because Spanish don't have a lot of, Spanish is also very soft flesh. So I don't want to cut it too thin. Then you won't have much to chew on. Yeah, I should have used a little bit bigger Spanish. So here it is. Hardtail, Spanish. Now, let's eat. I usually eat soy sauce. I usually just eat it with the soy sauce and wasabi. I don't put wasabi right in the soy sauce. I put it on the side. That way I can control how much wasabi I want to eat. And This is what we call chojang. In Korean, this is a hot pepper paste. It's not really hot. It's hot pepper paste, and they put some basically Sprite and some vinegar and make it really little bit sour but sweet at the same time. So I'm gonna put some of that. I usually don't prefer chojang, but hey, every time I eat something, I learn something different. Maybe I'll get to like it. So I'm gonna try it. This is called soju. It's like Korean rice wine. Japanese will eat sake, but I like eating with soju. So before I start eating, I want to clean up my mouth with alcohol. Cheers. Okay, I'm a little thirsty too, so I'm gonna eat some beer too. So I use metal chopstick, but for those of you that's not really used to using chopstick, use the wooden one, because the wood chopstick is much easier to grab onto something than metal. So I wanna let the hardtail sit there a little bit more. So I'm gonna try Spanish. So a lot of time you will notice that when I'm eating sushi, I kind of eat two fishes together. Well, that way you have something to compare to. If I just eat one fish, it depends on my mood, depends on my day, depends on my taste bud. It may be really good one day, but next day it may be terrible. So by eating two fishes together, I can compare. So I can compare what's better. Right before I eat, I can tell you, hardtail is one of my favorite fish, sashimi fish to eat. Then you don't need a boat to go catch. So, Spanish. Little bit of wasabi and soy sauce. It still has a little bit of chewing, but yeah, it would be much better if I ate it hour before. It's already becoming a little softer. Is Spanish my favorite? No. Do I eat Spanish raw? Sometimes if I cannot find other fish, it's okay. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's not really awesome in my opinion. It really a little bit of sweet at the end. That's the Spanish. It's good, but it can be better. Spanish is best eaten pan fried. Just my opinion. Everybody's different. I like eating Spanish pan fried. But occasionally, if I really have craving for sashimi and Spanish is the only thing I have, I'll eat it. Spanish has a little bit of sweet taste in it, but not much flavor. That's why I'm eating with chochang, because chochang will bring up that little bit sweeter and sour, better taste. If I just want to taste the fish pure itself, that's when I use wasabi and soy sauce. Good. Now, before I start finishing this, I'm gonna save a little bit because later on, I want to come back so I can remember what the Spanish tastes like. So, before I go hardtail, let me erase my memory. If the fish touches water, the purple part will taste like fish. But if it doesn't touch the water, it's not going to taste so bad at all. It's going to bring the flavor. Little more chewier than Spanish. Only complaint I have, I should really have given like 10 more hours before I eat this, because it would have been taste much better if I was sitting in my cooler for 12 hours or even a day. Even a 2 day is fine. I don't eat anything that goes over 3 days. That's a little too much. But 2 days, as long as it's in the cooler with ice, it's fresh enough. You can eat it raw. So, like the other day, I'm putting wasabi in each pieces, just as much as I like, because I don't want to, by mistake, put on the wasabi and put too much or put too little. I'm just gonna put it tiny bit on the fish, so I don't have to worry about I put too much wasabi or too little. Like I said, I'm making this video because of few people actually asked. I figure people who speak English won't like to see video of somebody eating raw fish, but I guess they do. So, yeah, I just don't have a fresh squid anymore, so I cannot eat it with the squid. But by the way, the thing is, hardtail and squid together, it goes very good together, because squid has really chewy texture and hardtail has really good flavor. So also hardtail has a lot of fish oil in it, like omega-3, good for your body. But squid is really clean taste. So you eat some hardtail and you feel like too much omega-3, then you go into squid. And you eat squid and you feel like getting some more flavor, then you go back to hardtail. Yeah, it could have been better, but still, it's pretty good. Dang good. I kind of feel bad that 3 hours ago, they were swimming around. Now I'm eating them. Oh well. Thank you and thank you. Oh, yeah, by the way, another good way to eat hardtail. Seaweed, yeah, seaweed. I buy this from Costco, Kirkland, so it's from Costco. And I personally like to eat it with like Korean seaweed. It tastes almost same, but Korean seaweed seems to have a little more salt in it and a little more sesame oil in it. So, but who cares? It's just almost same. So what I do is I put one seaweed, a little bit of soy sauce. I'll put one more like that. Fold it. Oh my god, this is good. Yeah, by the way, this is one of the way Japanese eat their tuna with seaweed. With seaweed. Ugh, seaweed. So, mm, only downside. Actually, you know what? I think Americans they will like it much better if they eat it with the seaweed. Because if there's any fish smell left in there, the seaweed will take care of it. I don't I don't smell fish, but you know I might be used to. So so good. Daily dose of omega 3, man. Cheers. 짠. I'm gonna eat two more with seaweed. It's good. Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot. I'm gonna try with chojang. Chojang, you know? No. Yeah, I prefer soy sauce for this. Much better with soy sauce. You know what? I like it with seaweed so much. I'm actually gonna eat it more with seaweed. Soy sauce? Mm. Okay. Let me cleanse my mouth one more time so I won't taste any more seaweed. The seaweed is gone. Now, hardtail. Doo-doo. Mmm. Good. I'm gonna save this little 2 piece so I can come back after I finish my Spanish. I can't believe it's almost done. Oh well. Soy sauce? Yeah. Hardtail is much better. I mean, Spanish, it don't taste like fish or anything. It just don't have much flavor. That's the problem. Spanish is good, but it just don't have a lot of texture or flavor. There's people that prefer chewiness, which is the texture, or there's people who prefer the flavor. Because if you are people that care more about how chewy it is than how it tastes, then try eat it as soon as you catch. If you eat as soon as you catch, even mullet, the flesh is really hard and you will taste that chewiness. You know, some of them will be even hard. But if you're after that flavor, like right here, you want to age it like same way you're aging the beef. You age it in the freezer or in the ice for at least 12 hours. I prefer 1 day, and it will bring out the flavor. And there's fish that will bring a lot of flavor out, like hardtail. Mm. Mm. Thank you. Thank you. So if you want to ask anything, drop me a comment. Ooh, thank you. That was good. Yeah. Mm.